hucksters, fraudsters, scam artists, Ponzi schemes, hucksters.
I wasn't expecting that song to come on, guys, but oh, that got me in a way better mood.
Fraudsters.
Let's jam this for a second.
Scam artists, Ponzi schemes, hucksters, fraudsters, scam artists, Ponzi schemes, hucksters, fraudsters, scam artists,
Ponzi schemes.
hucksters, fraudsters.
Oh, man. All right, what is going on, guys, gals, aliens, and DGen freaks? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to the live stream. Welcome. Happy Monday. Happy Monday. We are back for the regular scheduled programming. It seems like we have a bit of a rip in the matrix. Maybe we can fix this without having to actually touch the camera. Okay. Rip fixed. The rip in the matrix is fixed. All right, welcome. All right, just want to make sure. Yeah, let's do the Ponzi scheme. Yeah, that was the Ponzi scheme. Oh man, I think I just had to immediately start to cheer myself up. I didn't want to give you guys an angry Dano. I wanted to give you a happy go lucky Dano. Because sometimes you'll get the crazy rant Dano, but I don't want you guys to ever get the depressed down Dano. So we're coming in hot with a different attitude, and try and have a bit of a different perspective. And thank God for my wife. If I didn't have my wife, I'd probably be literally in the full trenches. So shout out to all of the good, supportive partners out there, including my wife. If you have a supportive person in your life that always helps you, kind of get through those times where you're just feeling like, you're just kind of feeling like a loser, We all have those moments where we might feel a little bit like a loser, but then I've tried to remind myself and you guys that, hey, sometimes you have to have that Kanye level confidence and also kind of almost fake it. And then with the support of the people that love you, that are around you, it always makes it a little bit easier. So shout out to all those people that are like that. But yeah, so let's get into a little bit of what's happening in the markets. We had, I think, the Asian markets overnight. We're usually not in bed at 6 o'clock. It was like 6:30, and my butt went right into the bed because I had worked just a long weekend. I was super tired, and I finally told myself, maybe I need to go and actually sleep. Wrong. Don't sleep. If you're in crypto, sleep is overrated, and it'll get you wrecked. But we're gonna look at the Bitcoin price and show you guys what actually happened with the markets. And we had a little bit of a shakeout. I think we had basically a big bullish momentum with all these green candles going up from this last dip of that 57.5, where we started to crush and go basically past the 618 Fibonacci. We crushed the 618 Fibonacci, which was what we were trading up into, and we got rejected off of a few times. If you're looking at the daily chart, you can see here where we got rejected, 1, 2, and then this third time of going into trading above support on the W pattern. We had this W pattern playing out right here that was bringing us up to at least that next resistance level of the 786, which was the 66,004 level. And this is where we're getting that rejection. And so we did not trade with more strength above the 786, which was the breakout point. Because if you think if we broke out of the 786 with that momentum, then the obvious next target would be $70,400. And then that would be too bullish, I think, for where the market actually wants to see the breakout, because I think the market makers and the whales and I would say that maybe the powers that be don't want to see Bitcoin blowing off right now before the election. And maybe, just maybe, it's going to take off after the fact. Maybe after the fact, because historically, when we've looked at the data and we've looked at some of these charts, did we have the chart up? Where is that chart? Did we take it off? We might have to go back into our let's go into Twitter really quick. Just go to saved. Let's go to our bookmarked stuff here. Where? Let's see. Go max BTC. Where did that chart go? We got to find that chart. Where did that chart go? It was basically I mean, if you've been watching this channel for at least the past couple days, couple weeks, then you've seen the chart that's correlating the movements of the halving cycle with the presidential election. So with the presidential election lining up with the 4-year cycle, gosh, where is it? Sorry, guys. I want to find it. We can't find it. Oh, there we go. It's like, okay. Because we had it bookmarked. Ha-ha! There it is. Okay, sorry, guys. Sorry that took so long. All right, so this is why we're thinking we might actually get a little bit of a retracement on the election instead of it pumping into the election. But who knows? Because we have October. Normally, October is a green month and halving years. But there's been just a lot of this volatility and uncertainty because of the nature of this election. We've never had, like in Bitcoin's history, multiple assassination attempts and just a lot of squirreliness happening around, and manipulation and censorship issues, freedom of speech issues, amendment rights, all this stuff, mass influx of illegals coming into the United States specifically. The things that are happening in the UK. I mean, like, yes, we had COVID, obviously. COVID was huge, but for some reason, this feels almost just as kind of like chaotic and uncertain as this last one. And with that being said, though, this chart has proven that since 2012, at least 2012, on the halving years, we've had the stock market go up and we've had Bitcoin go up. But it takes until after the election happens where we get the biggest moves. So you see here, right after the election, we get the biggest moves. Here, right after the election, this is when we get the banana zone. Here, after the election, we start getting more of the banana zone. And this one kind of started a little bit early, I would say. I'd say it probably started right here, which would line up a little bit very close to how these other previous two halving years played out. And then you'd look at, where we're at now. Obviously, this chart needs to be updated. We're getting a little bit closer. We'd say we're right here. Obviously, we're probably, we're right in this little level right there, if you can see my mouse. So it is going to be a wild ride, I think, coming up into the election. Because honestly, I have no clue. I have no clue where Bitcoin is going to go up to the date of November 5th. I think at this point, there's certain levels and resistance points that we do have to look at when it comes to Bitcoin. When we look at the chart here, we can see that in this Bitstamp chart. We'll show you the Bitstamp chart. The Bitstamp chart, obviously on the daily, is showing you the W, also the cup and handle pattern If you zoom it out, you can see the cup and handle pattern on the daily here. There's the big cup, and then you have this consolidation of a handle. A lot of people would say it's very overextended, super overextended, and we could be this is why some bearish technical analysts say that because this is overextended, that it's not actually playing out a true like Elliott wave flag bull pattern pennant because it's taking too long. Now I could say, okay, could make a case for that. And if it definitely is overextended. But the reason why I think it's overextended is because I think we do have some price manipulation happening that Bitcoin could have already probably have had, a blowout, blow off top basically from this point to at least break up and test those all-time highs again and maybe go up into at least 79K, maybe touch 80K as a brand new all-time high. And I feel like it's just been stopped. The institutions are like, no, 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 no. We did not get enough at cheaper prices. We don't want to buy at 80K. We want to buy at the 50s again. So this is why I still don't want to take off the table, because we did get, even after this bullish momentum right here and up here, we managed to get as low as here. So I am not going to take that off the table. Doesn't mean I'm bearish like for long term, because obviously it is due for this to break out because of what has happened in the previous halving cycles, what has happened, and we're not at quote of the day, we're at the Bitcoin analysis right now. And so I think what's playing out right now is still some market manipulation. We've had we could have a little bit of sell-off. BTC is not decentralized anymore. Move on. Yeah. Headband high. Yeah, because Bitcoin was never really truly decentralized in the sense of like who holds the supply, because in terms of the network, it's decentralized, because it's like if you're a network participant, you don't, it's not like XRP. Like if you have to, and I love this example, it's like, hey, XRP, you have to literally pay. Did you guys know that you have to pay XRP? If you want to hold XRP and make a wallet, you have to pay them. So Bitcoin is still more decentralized than obviously XRP. It's obviously XRP or most cryptos, but in the essence that 40% or more of the supply of Bitcoin, I think it's around there. 40 to 50% of the supply of Bitcoin is held in the only 2,500 wallets. So right now, I think active addresses on Bitcoin is over 600,000 or 700,000 active addresses on Bitcoin. And so to think that like 2,000 wallets hold 40 to 50% of that supply out of all of those wallets, that's a big amount. So obviously you got Satoshi's wallet, and then you have a lot of the early miners from the Genesis, Satoshi era of Bitcoin between 2009 and 2011. I think that's around 2011 is when Satoshi on the forums disappeared. Never posted again. And then, funny enough, 2 years later, you get someone like Da Vinci calling for everyone to at least buy $1 of Bitcoin, because at that point it was like 25 cents or 50 cents per Bitcoin. And he's like, you just buy $1 of it and then forget about it. see how well it does. And we see how well it's done. It went up over millions of percent. Pretty crazy. All right, well, let's see how many watches we got on a fine Monday like this. All right, we got 14 people. Shout out to all the 14 people that are watching this live stream right now. 15 people. All right, so if we have 15 people, then that means we can get the stream up to 15 likes. And then if we get it up to 15 likes, that means YouTube will take me out of the algo doghouse and they will put me in the search, and they won't force me to have to start using Rumble full time. And maybe even just for the fact that I said Rumble, they'll probably start blackball algoing me even more, but I hope not. But yeah, you guys can get the likes up. That would be amazing. Get it up to at least past 10, and then we can get the rest of the show on the road. All right, make sure you guys are in the Discord. Join the Discord. We're going to keep updating this. I know it's not as updated and fancy as other Discords, but it will get there. We're going to have some cool mechanisms. I would love to have someone who is like a Discord pro become a moderator or have a executive role in the Discord to help me manage some stuff and maybe, help me do some cool giveaways or I don't know, something. But we'll make it more exotic. How about that? And make sure you join or not join, but go to danielcurtishughes.com. And you can see that we have, some fun little crypto widgets that you can check out. You can see the prices of some of my favorite coins, and then also you got the actual chart widget from CoinGecko, and then you can also check out the overall altcoin market here, even on the DGen 5 minute. And we will not, and we're going to get into this. If you read the title, we're going to get into some of what has been happening for a long time with Pulsechain and Hex in general as a community and as a token because of the controversy of Richard Hart and its creator. And basically what I have noticed across all sentiment of chains, layer 2s, the things that actually get publicity, the things that people talk about, what KOLs are talking about because they get paid to do so. Pulsechain is not one of those chains that is in that list of the topic of discussion. Only when you're wanting to talk about something that people shouldn't invest in, which is hilarious. And so, and especially because it has its complete own ecosystem with its own crypto bubbles that you can look on gopulse.com. It has liquidity that CoinMarketCap, for some reason, they don't list it. They don't list the actual liquidity of Pulsechain, and it's ranked as a chain at 3,224 in the rankings. Now, the market cap is not $789 million. The market cap actually, if you go to Pulsechain and you go to the stats, the market cap is actually 7.2 billion. So why is CoinMarketCap one of the top coin aggregators of the whole space not listing Pulsechain where it should be? Because if that's the case and Pulsechain is 7.2 billion in market cap, which includes all of the tokens that are the meme tokens that are on there, including PLSX, Incentive, and now Hex on Pulse, why is CoinMarketCap not listing it above Injective, Filecoin, Aave, Dog with Hat, Pepe? It would be above Polkadot. And so there's something wrong there. There's something massively wrong because that's not accurate. That is not correct. So it leads me to believe that if there's any chain that I think is massively underrated for this fact alone, that it is not, it is completely being like censored. And then you have accounts like Crypto Banter, which shout out to Crypto Banter. That was nothing against Crypto Banter, but when they pulled up and they were talking about, the the coins and that are on their crypto bubbles, their Banter bubbles, they hide Pulsechain or Hex on Pulse for some odd reason, I think I don't know if they didn't realize they did it, but there was some discrepancies there. So I find it fascinating, and I do have a little bit of test. I did test going into Pulsechain with just a little bit of cash. Basically, this was, I think, at most at its peak was valued at around maybe $400. So it is down, but it's only I used very small liquidity. I wanted to test out some of the liquidity pools, like on PLSX. I wanted to buy some Pulsechain. I wanted to test out the swap. And then I ended up all through this found gopulse.com, and it's kind of like one website where you can track your portfolio. You can also swap directly in GoPulse, and you can check on the status of your liquidity that you have in specific farms, and it shows you how much that you have acquired through farming. So right now, just by having a little bit of liquidity, I've had a liquidity pool open for incentive INC, and I've collected about $10 so far, and this is with very small margin. And so I could imagine, by putting a little bit more into this ecosystem, especially because of how undervalued, and underrated it is, by the way it is not talked about at all by like the top KOLs, then could be something to look into. And I'll show you the bubbles. Let's see the bubbles. I'm pretty sure, and I've showed this before, but there's a lot going on. And if you want to really go deep into, like, okay, so say you find these bubbles, you find these tokens, you can go into Pulsechain, a Pulsescan, and check all these on chain, make sure that it has like whatever liquidity it has, whatever the actual market cap is, the holders, and then you can dive a little bit more into this. And also what makes it easy too is that thankfully Morales Money is friendly with Pulse, so then you can see what is trending and what is happening on Pulse in terms of market cap. So yeah. All right. Oh yeah, let's look at the chart too. Let's look at the chart of Pulse. The reason why I bring this up is because I think Pulsechain is going to break out of the descending wedge, and it already has, and it's basically back into it's in this accumulation zone of support, sitting right at support. If it breaks out of support, then we would be heading up into 176% move to the upside, and then if we break fully up on the wedge, then that is a 272% move. We break up back to all-time highs, 420%, and this is easily doable with the movements of Ethereum. And what I think is actually going to push Ethereum to all-time highs is the exact reason why Bitcoin was pushed to all-time highs before this fourth halving. And that's never happened before. So the only reason that happened is because we had massive buying for NFT or ETF trading. And so you can see that now Ethereum's ETF is starting to get $15 billion of spot ETF volume. So that's volume. And so the flows are starting to get a little bit stronger. And then we are going to have the same kind of effect that we had with Bitcoin. And you can see the Bitcoin volume of ETF volume, 400 billion. Now imagine getting Ethereum into the 100 billion range of ETF volume, then that is what I think is going to push the Ethereum price up into new all-time highs. People think that Ethereum is toast, it's dead, and I just don't think that that's the case. We're probably going to see this start to break up, I think, towards a peak of next year. Q1 2025 going into January, February, March, because this is the same that, ETH went up 20% in this portion of the market right here, and then also tested it up again in May. So I think 2 different times we'll probably end up seeing that push up where we'll crush that resistance at 4,200, and then we'll establish a bottom at 5K, and then from that 5K we'll make it to 6,600 per Ethereum. And I think things like Pulsechain are going to absolutely run. They're just going to absolutely run. And not just Pulsechain, but just the entire crypto market, I think, in general. Not everything. Obviously, not everything is going to pump. There's going to be things that probably do nothing, but then there's going to be the strong altcoins that people have already been trading on, even through the year and through the past month, that people are going to speculate into, that are going to be the top performers, like Phantom, Sui, Airdrome Finance. The memes are what people are interested in, obviously, because if you go into the year list, what has the most bubbles? It's pretty much the memes. Even at the top 100, Bonk, Pepe, Floki, and then you go to the top 100 to 200, it's all memes. Turbo, Mog, People, Corgi AI, Pepe Coin. And then in there, you notice that you got Superverse tied to gaming, and then you have the DEX, the decentralized exchange tokens like Radium, and then go as far as going into 200 to 300, it's the same narrative. You got memes, AI, and gaming. You have SPX 6900, which was the meme that came out of the Pepe era, like we're with Wojak and Mog, and then now look. I mean, you got MPC, and then you have Pal AI. You see the narrative that what is to be speculated into coming into the peak of the market, which we've talked about, is getting towards March of 2025, I think, is where we're going to see the peak. My price prediction for that, and I know some of you hate price predictions, but then some of you actually like them. The price prediction for Bitcoin, I think, is going to be topping out at $325,000 per Bitcoin in March or April of 2025. Now, the reason why I have this price prediction, why I think it's going to go that high, and I'm really bullish on more so next year than anything, is because look at the banana zone and the volatility from 2020 in September. So look at this is 2020 in September, marked from September 11th, and each September 11th going subsequent from 2020. You can see here that we had this massive banana zone because this was a halving year. And then if you go into the previous years, that same momentum happened, but this we're going to compare more to the previous last four years of movement. And then it ties up perfectly and measured with how the cup and handle pattern breakout is, because it's basically almost close to the depth. And then if this is going to break out here from this price, this is what makes us land in this area, around this area. And that's not going to come out, obviously, without its volatile moves, because look what happened in that year. We went from here, $12,000 went up 46%, and then dipped another 20%, then went up a total from that bottom 89%. Then we went up 214%. Then a total all the way up to the top of 64,000 went up 392% from September 2020 all the way into the next year in the first quarter of the year. So do you understand? Like, look, so from September of the halving, going here from the halving point, wherever it was, I think it was back here, then going from there, you see this time frame? Now, this is why we are even if we get prices here, we could be in this range between 78,000 and 107,000, because if we're going to move the same as we did, a rhyme at least of what we did the previous cycle, then holy crap, guys. Then you could expect another 350% move to the upside with Bitcoin going into next year. Now, what would you say would happen with the altcoins? I mean, especially things that we've been following, things like Medieval Empires that is involved with gaming. It's a good direct utility gaming token that's tied with a game. And then there's all kinds of other stuff like Star Atlas. I mean, that's on Solana. There's all these different crypto projects that are going to be linked up with Xbox and Sony, Microsoft and Sony. Wait till Nintendo starts to get into the crypto game, and then it's over, guys. I mean, it's just like, think of how good Nintendo is at marketing and how they do stuff. When they get into crypto, it's over. It's like, I just want to say it's game on. I should say it's game on. I don't say it's over. It's game on, because Nintendo, if you guys know and you've been in the tech space, video game space, anything with electronics, I mean, Nintendo is always, they've had some faults, but for the most part, they've dominated. Think how long they were able to keep the Switch going, while all these other systems have had to release two generations of systems. So, gosh, guys, there's just so much that is to look forward to. And I have to remind myself this, and I think what has got me so caught up sometimes in the short term is trying to day trade. And day trading can get you so caught up in what is happening because you're watching those micro moves. But then if you were to just zoom out on something like Phantom and just go into the monthly of Phantom, and then you're just like, oh, okay, all I have to do is just be patient and not worry so much about short-term time frames. And even getting into a previous cycle token like Phantom is not as boring as it sounds from these levels, because even going from where we are to just to touch all-time highs is a 479% return. And so if you can have a year of patience and know when to take profits, which could be around that time of the first quarter of 2025, then you really don't have to make it so complicated. You don't have to try and day trade. You don't have to try and try and use your coins to make more coins, or try and sell to get more to buy back in low. It's like you literally could just DCA in and DCA out, because at a point where we start to blow off and we start to go on a run, the run that inevitably happens after the halving year, then it's going to be like 40% moves in a day. Because total, a lot of these coins in the previous cycle were going up 30, 40% every 2 days. It was wild. So there will be opportunities to make money when things are running, and it could be as easy as just getting into the solid blue chip altcoins that had strength and did good in the last cycle, and have at least showed that they could pump during January and February of this year, because that's also important, because some of the altcoins and some coins from the previous cycle did not do as well as some from the previous cycle that maybe did well in 2021. And so that's also important, that you kind of have a portfolio that's diversified through what did well in the last cycle, but then what also picked up the pace a little bit in this year. Okay, so let's see. Let's keep going. Let's go down the news. Not too much news happening. Crypto said, today's daily candle will decide everything. And you see this massive W pattern. If we end up kind of closing bearish on today's candle, it could mean that we kind of could go back into some lower prices and test some previous support levels that we could be bouncing off of. And but if we can hold, we can close, and then 67,000. If you see that number right there, 67,000 could be that next level that we hit. And we want to mention poly market. So the election is in 36 days, guys. It's crazy. In 36 days, we will be finding out who is going to be president-elect of the United States, and then start the term in the following year. So, holy moly, guys. I'm praying that we just don't get any craziness like we did last election with the COVID and all the stuff and all the things. I mean, that was the biggest psyop in human history. And so I'm just really hoping and praying that we can just get through this nice and civilly, and no craziness happens, and we can go through the 4 years of whoever is president at this point. I mean, I'm just like, can we just, oh man. So I'm just praying. I hope you guys are praying too, that we have just a civil outcome for whoever wins. If it's Harris, civil outcome. Trump, civil outcome. That's what I'm praying for. And the protection of people. All right, so we have the money supply is increasing. Governments are printing money. They're getting that money out there. The printing press for that good old fiat cash, for the won, the yen, the euro, the Canadian dollar, the USD. It's all being printed, and they are going to put it into what? They're not going to put it in the backyard. They're not going to bury it or put it under the mattress and save it for a rainy day. They're going to inject it into what they use as their mechanism to still become and still be the 1%. It's to trade it on the stock market. They're going to invest it. They're going to also lend it out to the banks at interest. And that's how the scheme keeps going. And then they lend it out to us. If you didn't know that, that's how this whole system works, is that the Federal Reserve, for us at least, for the United States, we are now because of the way that we went off the gold standard, is that the Federal Reserve is able to just print infinitely by not having it backed by anything. And the only thing that it's backed by is the hope that we accept it as value by the strength of the U.S. military. That's what it's backed by. Because there's always the funny meme that goes around when when people say, "Well, the U.S. dollar's not backed by anything," and it was like, and then the next scene is like this mega tank that's has a Gatling, that has like a super high powered rail gun on it or something like that, or like a crazy fighter jet that goes by. No, it's definitely backed by something. This is backed by the might of the U.S. military. But all jokes aside, what we mean by that is obviously there's nothing tied to that piece of paper besides just it's just numbers on a screen. And so what they do is they go, okay, the government is by the way of banks. That is how people are going to access the money, is through the banks that are sanctioned through the government and Congress, and then through the Federal Reserve, and then also with the direction of the Federal Reserve has controls of the banks and what they are able to actually custodian, and through with the SEC gives the power and regulation to what the banks are fully able to do as well, if they could hold certain assets or securities or whatever. And So you can see how all of this starts to tie in of how the power plays are of what the banks are able to do, what you are able to do, and how they ultimately use all of this to siphon money out of you through taxation and through all of the percentage rates and all of this stuff. So you kind of have to play the same game, though. You can't not know the game, because you have to play the game in order to then exit out of that system. So then you can then not, and then here's the tricky part, because you don't want to enter the game and then become part of the game and then then also just become manipulated by the system, and then you start manipulating people, and then it's bad karma. It's almost like you want to learn the game and learn the system to then play the system and then exit out and then teach people how to then exit out of that said system so they don't become pawns to it and mercenaries to keep that system going along. And so I think this is why Bitcoin is so important. This is why Bitcoin is ultimately the light at the end of the tunnel, because then what it does is it eliminates all of that, in essence, in terms of there's no owner. Even though it is being manipulated by buying and selling of institutions, 100%, it still gives anyone around the entire world, doesn't matter who you are, to enter into a global network of monetary value by energy and security through a network. And so that is why Bitcoin, I think, is so important. And I think that is why the billionaires and the trillionaires are acquiring it, because they themselves know. And this is what's funny, because I think that obviously there's not enough Bitcoin to go around to go to every single millionaire or go to every single billionaire or trillionaire, or to go to every person in the entire world. So what I'm interested in is that, okay, what stops these trillionaires and billionaires in the world of just buying up like all of the Bitcoin and hodling it for themselves? Well, that would cause the price to skyrocket. It would cause the price to skyrocket. So wouldn't you say that there could be a through the grapevine, spoken rule that, hey, excuse me, billionaire, trillionaire, you can't do that. You can't buy that much, because then the supply and demand mechanism wouldn't then ensue. But would even the order be able to get filled? Maybe. But I always think about that. I'm like, yeah, so there could be this metric of how Bitcoin is purchased over time with the billionaires of the world, that it's like, I wonder why they haven't just been really, really going heavy and like really going in. I mean, Michael Saylor's been going in, but I'm surprised it's not more. I'm still always surprised that it's not more. Like, man, I don't know. Do you guys think about that? I think about that sometimes. I think about, man, there's like, they're really like, if you think about the wealth in the world and these people, they could be buying way more Bitcoin. Especially OTC Bitcoin. Chris Prophet said, can't win at this game. Seriously want to cash out, leave, and never come look back. No, I know. I felt like that. Dude, I'm telling you, you have your moments. And then I have to remind myself that literally all the people that we look up to, if you look up to anyone in this space or look up to anyone that has a crypto channel or has made it, Carl Runefelt is a perfect example. I look up to Carl Runefelt. I look up to Da Vinci. I look up to Jason Casper. Like, Jason Casper's story is amazing. Like, he's a perfect example of someone who was like, I feel like a loser. I'm going to quit. I've lost all this money. I don't know if this is the right thing to do. And then just by him having the support of his family, his wife, and also having a strategy and a plan and start to kind of like maybe eliminate certain things out of his life that probably kept him from being like 100% successful. Look at him now. He's got a super awesome, like solid community of people that watch his channel. Most like pretty much profitable trader. Not like he doesn't win every single trade. I mean, he has losses too. Just like CryptoFace. CryptoFace has losses, but it started from them learning over these past years. I mean, like I think like 4 or 5 years of them being in the markets is what it takes to really start to see the results. It sometimes doesn't happen like a lottery ticket. You know, my wife had to remind me today, doesn't happen like a lottery ticket. You know, some people it is. Maybe they were early in a particular project. They got lucky. Where, you know, just maybe they followed a certain X account that you don't follow, got the early entry, made that quick banger. It is possible. It is 100% possible. And then sometimes you're fucking grinding, excuse my language, but for 4 years. And then you end up at Carl Runefeld status where you're out of the grocery store. You are trading Bitcoin. You're like investing in early crypto companies as an advisor. You're going down the track, going down to the, or going up to the next, level of being involved in crypto. So I think the best thing or best advice that I guess I can give you guys right now, because I was feeling angry. I was like, I thought I was going to wake up and my trades were going to be like, ping. But Asian markets decided, they were like, nope, we're going to go bearish this Monday and we're going to dump the price. So it ended up just sloshing all of my trades up. I'm still in the trade, but it just did not play out all fairies and unicorns and rainbows as I wanted it to. And so I let that completely destroy my mood this morning and just because like I know you guys have had this same instance for yourself where you woke up and your trades were like going good and you're like, and then it was a direct like correlation to how your mood was for the rest of the day. You were just like everything could just roll off you, because your trades were going good. And then there's some mornings where you woke up and your trades are absolute trash and it's like did not play out, or the market went sideways and just it didn't go your way, or you got liquidated or whatever it may be, and your mood is just shit. It's just like, it just goes downhill. And like your wife asks you, or your husband or whoever, your partner asks you, like, is everything okay? And you're like, yeah. And like literally you feel dead inside. You basically feel like this. You're just like, your eyes are gone. Oh my gosh. Crypto will make you want to literally go to therapy. Like crypto will make you want to have a therapist. But I know I'm stronger than that. I have more will. I'm not a quitter. I've never been a quitter in my life. I don't like quitting things. And so, and especially at things that I like. I do like crypto. And as much of a, sometimes I give it, I give it a bad rap, or I'm kind of hard either on it or myself. Like, it really is the only opportunity, like right now, for us as humans to get ahead of the system. What else is going up at these rates? Even if you can just get some cash in the game and wait a little bit, where things are going to start going up in 200 to 300 to 400% moves to the upside. Nothing else. There's nothing else. There's absolutely nothing else. Really, there's nothing. That's it. Everything else does not have the same type of trajectory as small of a market share of global liquidity as crypto does. Literally only at $2.2 trillion total. Chris Prophet said, I need therapy. I'm sorry, I don't want to laugh. I don't want to laugh. I'm sorry. Chris Prophet said, I need therapy after this year. Actually feel sick. No, dude, I'm telling you, I have been in my garage meltdown level at the movements of these markets sometimes. And then I've been like jumping up and down, being like, yeah. And like I'm freaking riding on a freaking starship, Tesla Starship, SpaceX Starship to Mars. And sometimes that sail just gets ripped out and you feel like you're like, what am I doing? What am I doing? I mean, I had some of the best trades. I had some of the best trades in the beginning of the end of last year in 2020, in 2023, like after the Pepe craze and a little bit after that, after the Ben.eth like madness, started to kind of wither a little bit. I was doing really well. I finally kind of locked in on the trades. I kind of started. I had a breakthrough. I had this moment where I started to see the charts in a different way, and I was like, oh, like I started to see it. I was like, okay, this is okay. I see the bullish momentum. I start to see it. I'm like, okay, we're about to run. And so I got in my entries, and then I started to actually. I had this goal. I had this mental goal. Maybe that helped me to get to those trades that I did, because I had this goal in mind. I said, look, I'm gonna turn $100 into $1,000. I'm gonna turn $100 into $1,000 by trading, and I did it. And then I said, okay, if I did that, I can think I can make it to the next level. I'm gonna turn this into 5,000. And guess what? I did. I turned it into $5,000. I had 2 different Bitcoin trades open. I did a Pepe trade that made $1,000 total in profit. I had 2 Bitcoin trades that made $2,000 each in profit, one in Bitcoin. And so I did prove to myself that I was able to trade from a small amount to a big amount. And I did. If you guys have watched this channel long enough, you've been with me for the past year now. You saw it, or at least it was about 7 months, 7 months ago, 8 months ago, however long it was, that I had the receipts. You could see it in the videos. I showed the trades in the videos. And so, and I'll tell you where I went wrong is that in that excitement of winning and being like, yes, I hit the goal, I almost didn't appreciate the profits enough or protect them enough to then say, okay, I've been doing so well, I might need to chill a little bit and stop trading, let the market chill. It's been going great. It's not going to go up forever. It's going to retrace. And then that's when I learned a valuable lesson that there's times to short the market. 100% there's times to short the market. And so even when you're in a bull market, that's what's so interesting when you start to get into trading, is that even in a bull market, there's still opportunities to short, especially when you're hitting resistance. I mean, especially when you're hitting the resistance levels. Previous resistance, previous support, holy crap. And so my lesson is that I could have just taken out all that profit, exited out of the market completely, just exit out of all trades, gone, take them, and then wait, be patient, take the win. I won. That was it. All I had to do was just do nothing at that point. I successfully completed the task. And what did I do? I started to go more in. I was like, oh, let's see if this momentum can keep going. Wrong. Absolutely wrong. And so, with that being said, we are going to not quit. We're not going to be a BITCH. We're not going to say, oh, we didn't do it this time. All right, well, that's it. That was our only opportunity. And to start being a downer and being a crybaby. What we're going to do is we're going to take some notes. We're going to go to school. We're going to get in the trenches again because there's no other way to get to that winning trade or that patient conviction of buying and holding some of these tokens that we've been talking about. I'm not going to get there if I end up going that route of being a freaking crybaby. Oh, it didn't work out. So I'm telling that to myself, and I'm also telling that to you guys. So I'm just telling you that if you go back into my videos, you can go way back into my live streams, and I have the profits, and I have the videos and to prove it that I did turn that small amount into thousands. And then proved also to you guys that you can then take those and then completely make them disappear. Oh, gosh. So funny. But we got this stream up to 20 likes, though, so we're very, very appreciative of that. Thank you, guys. We kind of have been ranting a little bit. But yeah, I think you guys are awesome because you guys are just as a much of an encouragement. Like you guys are awesome. Like Sin, Crypto Fart, Crypto Naughty. Shout out to you guys. Shout out to Yoga with the Omi. Shout out to Andrew P. Shout out to Headband High. Especially shout out to Headband High. You know, Headband High, you keep telling me about all these projects you get into. Why don't you put them in the damn Discord, bro? Like, are you holding out on us? Are you sitting over there in your, like, Valhalla golden toilet that you can't give us the data? All right, so yeah, and also I think, and this is what also annoys the crap out of me. I'm so tired of every time the market wants to react on Jerome Powell speaking. I'm like, can we just get over that now? I'm so tired of that. I know you guys are tired of it. I'm like, can this just not be a market metric or a market like buy sell signal anymore when Jerome Powell speaks? I'm like over it. Can we just all go all in on Bitcoin and crypto and then just like we can all just retire early together and we don't have to worry about the next time freaking a dude that's just reading from a piece of paper is going to say, can we get some likes, please, for that? Can we get some emojis in the chat? Can we get ones in the chat? Because literally that's how I feel. I am so tired of every time this man speaks, people react like idiots. And they go, oh, let me sell everything. Let me dump everything. Or let me buy everything. It's like, no, just keep buying. Stop selling. Keep buying. Stop selling. All right, how is the market doing right now? Are we getting back up to 64? See, I'll tell you what happened to my trade here. Tell you what happened to my trade. My trade was up 200 and something in margin. I re-entered back in with the profits that I took. I took about 40, 50 something in profits here. And then I started seeing, I was like, okay, I'm starting to see some bullish things happening with Doge. I went into a Doge trade. And I feel like I probably was just a little too, I was spooked on it. So then I closed it, went into Pepe. That got liquidated. And then I ended up back to square one on the trade. And then for some reason, with the market swooping down as fast as it did, it hit a stop loss, but only took a little portion of the trade off. And I think it might have been a stop loss that was not, usually I set my stop losses like almost at like 1%. So I don't lose like, 30% or 20% of the trade by stupid wicks. And so that's what ended up happening. So by a stupid wick and a move to the downside,
We ended up losing a little bit, but we're still in the trade. It's still open, and now we're kind of just like, now we have to kind of readjust. We might just keep it in with that margin and just see if we can at least get up to some momentum of going up to 68,000, because this is what we were looking at. If we were going to be breaking that resistance right here at 66.5 and then going to the obvious next level, which would be 68.5. So instead of doing like what I said previous, is sometimes you can just, like, if you're doing good, like we had good trades open, we made some profits, sometimes you can just exit out of all of your trades and then wait and just be like, especially on a weekend, like, God, you wait till Monday and you see how Monday comes, you see how the market opens up, you see the what is to ensue, and then you can then have all of the liquidity and profits that you just made through the weekend of you successfully winning, and then go back in. Yeah, let's check them. Let's check those levels. So we're seeing an R. Yeah, we could see. Let's check the MACD. Let's check the MACD on the 4 hour. This is on, what is this, Ponky? Let's see. Yeah. On the 4 hour, see, it's really, oh man. Well, we're below the 200-day moving average now. We're traded below the 200-day moving average. And then if you put on the Bollinger Bands, we also dipped way below the 20 SMA. And so the MACD does look bearish. This looks, it doesn't look good. I should say it does not look good. It kind of almost looks like we're trying to hit 62.6 again and just wick right down to 62.6, or we make a higher low at right. Oh man, but we already made it right there. So if we start going lower low and we get down here, that's not going to be good. Which it's looking like on the Bollinger Band here, we could go to 62.5 here very soon. 62.5 here could be in the cards. Oy, 62.5. Sen has a take profit at 62.6. Or are you in a short? Are you in a short right now? Yeah, it could be. It could be for sure. In this particular trade that we are in, our liquidation level is at 60,500, which would be crazy. That would be a really nasty little dump for Bitcoin to go down to that low. So we'll have to see. Point of control right now is looking like it's trading down into 63.2. And then the lowest we could go right here is 62.6 in the short term. So, yeah. This is what it's looking like right now. Short-term time frames in the 1 hour, 30 minute, and the hour is looking pretty, it's looking a little bearish, but if you want to know a level to watch for, it would be right here. Yeah, and see, that's the thing, Sen. See here, I'm just gonna tell you guys here. I'll just tell you. Here's how you can learn from your lesson. Learn from a lesson, or learn from my mistake, and learn a lesson. I can't even talk. Learn from my mistakes, so then you can turn it into a lesson, and then you can be successful in not doing what I just did. Okay, so I was up on my Bitcoin trade, could have exited out completely and just waited and said, okay, we're probably hitting a little probably going to hit some resistance at these levels, because this is where we had some decent resistance from previous levels. And if you go into the daily, you can see resistance right here. So if we really started to hit that resistance and we're going to try and, test it again. I know, yeah. So yeah, Crypto 90 said I'd be topping up that margin. Yes. Yeah, I know. So basically, if we wanted to really just keep going in, we can let Bitcoin do its thing. And as long as we don't get close to, really close to this liquidation price, which is at 60,400, then we have all of this range in here to add margin to strengthen the trade up, to then be able to catch the run. That would be the breakout going to 70, which would be the top of this band, because the top of the band here on the daily for the Bollinger Band is 77,000. So that was the thing. I did top up the margin because I think I was being too bullish. I was like bull posting all day yesterday. I should have known by my own bull posting yesterday that we were too bullish. We were just too bullish. All right, so let's look at, the quarterly returns historically for Bitcoin are seeming like they're lining up. So if we go to the previous halving years, 2017, 2020, and then now 2024, looking pretty similar. And we're hoping that we get the true, October, we get a good November, we get a good December, judging on previous halving years. Like I said, in 2017, 2020, and yeah. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Let's see how open interest is actually on the markets. So open markets, open interest is down. So yes, that means that people. So the thing is when we were looking at the markets of the momentum going to the upside, open interest was in the green, and the funding rates were in the green, and now they're all in the red. And so this means that the market right now, primarily, I would say, is now in shorts. We got a lot of people in short positions, but we do have still some bulls trying to control the market. I don't think the bulls want the price to go as low as $60,000. I don't think the bulls want it that low, so they're gonna push it. But you see here where the last time we hit on this little trend line, if we end up trading down to the trend line, then the next stop would be in the next couple hours would be 62.5. Would be 62.5 right here, and it's looking like sliding down on that band would meet us in this range of support to then get us back up to trade and see if we can get back into the range of here where we got previously rejected. So level to watch is 62.4, and if we don't bounce off of that and we keep going, then the next one is 59,000, 60,000, which is the liquidation level. And I will say that is pretty telling of what the market a lot of the times likes to do when you have trades in, and one of the trades being mine, one of the trades being yours, one of the trades being everyone else's trades that are currently, I bet, at this same liquidation level. Now, wouldn't the market makers love to be so nice as to say, oh, that's so great that your liquidation level is at 60,500. That's perfect. We're going to put our buy orders in at 60,500 to long. And then right when the market gets liquidated and you get liquidated out of your long, while they were shorting up here, then they go in, and then that's when the market reverses, and you're like, son of a gun. And so I would still look at this level Because if this is my liquidation level, this liquidation level is across the entire market. We got shorts being going to get liquidated hard at 64.8. We got longs heavy going to get liquidated at 62.8. Oh yeah. All right, let's see what's happening. What's trending right now? Oh, man. Okay, yeah, Bitcoin price fluctuations, of course. Federal Reserve's Bostic open to November rate cuts. Oh, yeah, okay, so Justin Fed's Bostic says he is open to another 50 basis points interest rate cut in November. Now, if we look at the CME Fed Watch, the percentage now might have gone up because of this news, because it was trend. Okay, so yep, it went up a little bit. So now it's 43% that we get 50 basis points in November instead of 25. 25 being the 56% chance that we just do 25. Current rate being 475 between 500, and then going into the range of 425 to 450 is where I think possibly now this is going to start to flip, and it looks like we're going to be getting more aggressive rate cuts going into the rest of the year. And so this lines up right after the election. We have November 5th as the election, and then we have November 7th as this pinnacle meeting. So there's going to be, holy crap, guys, there's going to be a lot of volatility in the beginning weeks of November. And oddly enough, out of all of this volatility that's happening on this particular thing, in my world, I have something that's happening in around that date that I'm selling my house. And so around that time is when all that will be final, and I'm sure you're thinking the same thing that I'm thinking. What are you going to do? What are you going to do with that? I'd like you guys to take a couple of guesses and what I'm going to be doing. And I wish it was happening a little earlier, but I don't know if this would be, if it's like good timing or just perfect timing. I don't know, but it's definitely right in the money of being in the most volatile times of that we're going to see probably this year in this month of November. But then we still got a whole month of September for this year. December and January, February, March, April of those months. Those are the run months. Those are going to be the run months of what normally happens with the cycle of Bitcoin in a halving cycle. Just get that run. 250% increase from where we're at right now is at $150,000 per Bitcoin. And then if we go into that timed, 420 days after the halving is usually a peak. 420 days, 418 days, 518 days, 546 days after the halving. And so if history repeats or rhymes, the bull market peak will occur 518 to 546 days after the halving. So if we can just have a little bit of patience, don't quit, don't let the day trading or the swing trading or anything like that dictate your emotions, and you build up a solid playlist, and it doesn't even have to be that much money. I've realized that. If you really want to make substantial gains, you don't even have to have that much into some of these projects. It could be as low as $1,000 per 10 coins that you have followed by doing your research. And if you hold them into the peak of the bull market, you could be making, six figs off of each coin. Even if 2 of them do well and all the other ones went to 0, you're making your losses back and then some just by having a little bit of skin in the game. We've proven that to ourselves already from last cycle, but you're either one that got out early because you're risk avert and you were like, I made it, I'm out of the casino. Some of us were a little more risky and a little bit more crazy and maybe mentally unstable, and we stayed in too long and we didn't take profits because we thought it was going to go up more. And then some were just neutral and on the fence and didn't invest in crypto at all, and they didn't pull the trigger at all, and they just watched. And they're like, okay, now I'll get in. After I watched everyone get wrecked and then, FTX go down and all that stuff, and then they're okay, all right, so did it recover? Okay, it recovered. All right, now I'll go in. There's a whole group of different types of people and investors of different risk profiles. So, all right, guys, I think we've yapped enough. We'll see you guys on the next stream. We'll be streaming later today. We'll see how the markets are going to do. We'll see how Bitcoin closes. We'll see how this daily candle closes on Bitcoin. And, yeah. Could be a little nasty, guys. It could be a little nasty. We got a couple hours to go. And we're already kind of on the daily with the 200-day moving average just going. Zoop. And so looking for that level that we said, basically 62,000 or 60,000 as a possible target for Bitcoin here in the short term. But in the long term, like we said, start to zoom out and have a Da Vinci mentality. Can you be as patient as 10 years? Can you be as patient as 13 years? With all the distractions? Can you be as patient as just only 1 year? I don't know. We'll see. But all right, guys, thank you so much for coming to this live stream today. I almost gave you a depressing, sad, angry Dano, but you did not get him today. So I'm glad that I pulled myself together a little bit with the help of my wife to come on and do this stream and not be a Debbie Downer. Did not want to be a Debbie Downer. Did not want to be a Debbie Downer today. So got the attitude set and we gave you the stream. But thank you guys. You also helped me as well. I hope that the people that came in here that were kind of maybe feeling the same that I was, that in hearing that I was going through the same thing and that we are together, me and you, we're not going to quit. We are going to keep grinding and we are going to see the light at the end of that tunnel or at the end of the trench. Because, yeah, we're all in the trenches right now, guys. We're all battling the system, right? So, yeah. All jokes aside, I really do appreciate you guys. You guys are awesome. And it means a lot that I have people that are coming in and interacting with this stream and we all feel like we're a part of a cool little, grassroots community, all ports from all different channels and different backgrounds and from all over the world. So I really appreciate you guys. And I didn't do any shilling. Today. I was not Shilbo Baggins today. Was not heavy on the shilling. So yeah, if you want to use the links in the description, the mods in the chat. Oh, let's see. Is Crypto Rand going to come on? Oh no. Okay. There's a stream that's happening that Pulsechain, like he was going to come on. Where is he? Oh, okay. No. Did he come on the show eventually? No, I don't think he did. All right, let me go to my channel real quick and show you guys the links in the description. Let me like the stream and check out all those links. Helps directly support the channel. And if you want all the other links, they are right down at the bottom here. I'm pretty sure all of those work. So, all right. And thank you for actually all of you guys who have been watching and interacting with these videos that I posted recently. They've been doing way better than the videos, maybe even just like from like a month ago. Like a month ago, I just felt like the algorithm was just like, just awful. And it's not even like I feel like these videos are good. It's not even like it's bad content. It's like it's decent content, good information, and the views were just like ugh. Look, 1 month ago, only 131 views. 1 month ago, 75 views. Like, jeez, come on. And then I have, one that I literally just posted 2 days ago, and it's already over 305. And then this one, 307. This one 9 days ago, 508. So thank you. I really appreciate you guys. Anytime you're watching these videos and interacting or hitting the like button, I mean, it helps because it sometimes is like trying to break through a cement, concrete, steel wall when it comes to that YouTube algorithm, man. It is just like atrocious. All right, but all that being said, I'm yapping already too much. I'll see you guys on the next stream. Nothing more to say. Peace out.